All right, test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3. Looks like we are good to go. Loki is saying hello, Busha Gusha Buddha Buddha. Yes, you are. Oh yeah, Bush Bush Busha. Anyway, hope you guys all had a great Monday here. It was definitely a volatile day in the market. However, the last few days have been absolutely great for the market here, specifically the crypto market here. So we're going to be talking about all that, having a nice little chill time, and trying to see what's going to be happening over the next 24 hours. Because you guys know it's been volatile. It's going to continue being volatile. So if you guys are able to make the correct guesses here, the day trades can really net some really good money here. So let's get started with all that. Hey Knox, happy to see you back, my man. Villarat, Multi-Slacker, happy to see all of you guys here. Now let me go over here and get things going. There we go, perfect. And Azazari, happy to see my man. Let's see. And I should move right here. And hey, 757, happy to see you. All right, so, as far as Bitcoin's been going, I know I put out a few videos over the weekend here, kind of giving you guys my thoughts about what I wanted to do. Sorry, my phone did something. Siri was acting up. Anyway, I had given you guys my thoughts about how I wanted to trade certain things and some of those certain levels of resistance where I would have a little bit more concern. One of those levels of concern was the 50-day moving average, and lo and behold, we came right up against it and we got rejected by it. Just like we did back over here just a few days ago, back on April 22nd, you could even say a couple weeks ago now. That being said, just because we got rejected off of that and came down a little bit more, I don't necessarily think we're gonna have to do that again, all right? That's a possibility, but not what I actually see happening at this moment in time. And the number one reason is we finally did get the MACD to turn green here, so I'm a lot more excited about what could happen with Bitcoin over the next few days. I'm kind of all over the place here because of basically what's happening with the weekly chart. You see the weekly chart turning bearish, and we haven't been bearish since all the way back over here, where we kind of dumped for a few months, and then we kind of eventually had our larger move up, kind of fueled by a whole host of things related to the dollar index, the economy, inflation, interest rates, all the type of good stuff. At this point, I do think we're at a crucial point that we have to just realize here. This week is going to be volatile, and we will go up and down, and I hope we eventually come up on top. We'll be talking about all the possibilities here over the next, couple hours or so. However, we really want CPI data next week to be good. If it's not, it's just going to make it's going to be so shitty, guys. So, hopefully we can get some good CPI data, good PPI data. I just put out the 2 streams for next Wednesday and Thursday. So if you guys want to make sure you guys are available for those streams, you guys can make sure to go over to those streams and hit the notifications button or something like that. And they're not going to be early in the morning because I'm not going to wake up. Usually I'm asleep during that time. However, I will be doing a midday stream kind of going over the aftermath here with all the data, all the facts, and I'll be able to kind of, how do you want to say, go deep into the data and see what exactly is going up and what's going down. That way we have more of a full picture. That'll be the goal of Wednesdays and Thursdays streams, I think, along with just your basic technical analysis and stuff like that. It's just definitely been a wild few weeks. You guys can see these moves have been coming down quite a bit. We've managed to have a nice reversal off of that 20-week moving average that we had talked about. But right now, it's still going to take a little bit more effort for us to really get back into that crazy let's go sky high type of mentality. The day trades that we've been talking about here, they've actually been working very, very well. It's just that, it's been hard to be greedy. Sometimes when we make a trade, we want to hold on longer and longer and longer. And typically in a bull market, when you have those breakouts, it actually makes sense. You can hold for a week or something and it keeps on going up. This side, we've been trying to hold on for a while, but it really hasn't given us anything, fantastic so far. So a lot of the time, the way to make money has just been to stick around for 12 to 36 hours. 36 hours is even stretching it, maybe 12 to 30 hours perhaps. And that's really been the big move that I think a lot of us have been looking for. Whether or not you guys want to go over here to the 1 hour chart, us buying off of that 20-week moving average, and then playing the bounce, for that one opportunity here. Remember guys, I bought here and sold the majority here. I had a little bit left over, and then I sold the rest of it right here. And then we broke out again, and I bought a little bit more, and I sold the rest of it over here, and it went up even a little bit higher. Okay, I thought about whether or not I wanted to let it keep on grinding, But basically what happened is I had a stop loss that I was moving up, and I was just like, okay, if it hits, it hits, it hits, and it hit, unfortunately. But again, we go over here, plop open. Let's make this into a 50 at this point in time. And it's going to be a 50 on the daily. See right there? Yeah, you know, you're going to be happy to sell off somewhere around here, because you never know if it's going to come back down for another consolidation level. At this point in time, we do see the death cross coming here for the 4-hour charts. I'm not totally concerned with that at this point in time. However, you know, I am watching everything closely, because right now, you know, as we go look at the daily charts, we are gearing up for something. The 20-day moving average is not really doing much here, which is kind of interesting, because typically we do have a little more volatility around here. But it looks like the next thing we're going to have to try to break out above going into this week, it really is going to be that 50-day moving average, where that if you guys are buying right now because Bitcoin is basically consolidating, if you will, that next level of resistance is basically just the 50-day moving average. But if you're thinking it's going to break above that, your next level of resistance is basically just around 66,500 to 67,000. Basically in that sweet spot is what I'm going to be looking for. I haven't decided completely if I want to open up a trade here. I'm being patient with it. You know, if you go over here to look at some of the MACDs and stuff like that, you can see we have slowed down over the last couple hours. I kind of like that. And if I was going to have a stop loss, it'd be right down here around 62,500 or all the way down here around 61,355. For me, you know, I think I'm going to wait to see if we have maybe one more dip or so. But I probably will. I'm going to try to buy up a little bit more here later on today. And if you guys can, I put up a poll a few minutes ago saying, are you guys buying right now or waiting? This is just general. Are you guys buying assets or are you guys just waiting for a little bit longer? You guys can treat it as you will, whether you guys are swing trading, day trading, long-term investing, dollar cost averaging. You get what I'm saying there. Let me know what you guys are doing, because I've just heard so many different opinions online. I was watching, you know, Benjamin Cohen, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was talking about the bull market support band and stuff like that. I've never been a big person on the bull market support band, because we've broken down below such things so many times where it kind of freaks me out, where I don't want to make a trade off of them. You know, normally when we look at it's basically like a 21 moving average, I think it is, because mine is the 20 and it usually works just as fine. We've dipped down below that sucker a few times here, more than a few times, and it hasn't really done much, you know, and even when we break back above it, it doesn't really mean as much. It's basically, to me, just a level of support and resistance, not so much of something I'd really care all too much about. But when I hear him talking about it, man, it makes me a believer in a heartbeat, just because he's so knowledgeable about the space. I haven't found a good reason to use the bull market support band, but I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about this. So as far as I'm concerned right now, I may be a little bit more greedy for trying to wait to see if there's another buying opportunity coming up. I've already had 2 good day trades here so far, and you know, the dollar cost averaging still seems to be netting me the most return on my investment at this point in time. As far as those longer term trades, I haven't really gone into the swing trading mentality just yet. I was looking at my portfolio last night, I think it was, and you know, we're down about $742. Not terrible. We were down, I think, about $500 yesterday, and then a few days, you know, last week we were down like $1,200. So the momentum is working in the right space for us. It's like the right direction. As I'm looking at some of my profits and or losses, a lot more losses here. You can see, you know, there's a lot more green in here than there was before. The real big winner is the one I just dollar cost averaged into here. I think it was just a few days ago. I think it was last Friday or Thursday. WLD, World Token. Bought it down here. This is a weekly chart. Let's go over here to the 4-hour chart. There you go. You can see since we bought over here, it definitely has been a good move. I don't exactly remember when I bought it though. So I bought it 1827. 502. So I bought it right here, I guess, right over there, that little red mark. And then boom, a few hours later, chugging up. So I got pretty good timing there. The timing isn't the most important thing, because of course we're, you know, dollar cost averaging here, but it is nice to see a little bit more green on the screen here, and hopefully we can have some more moves. Even some of the stuff like Bonk that I've been buying up here, or Pepe that I've been buying up, you know, I'm looking at these as opportunities, saying, hey, there's a lot of upside to a lot of these altcoins. Well, maybe Bitcoin goes sideways here for the next few days overall. These altcoins are definitely looking for some larger moves, even over here with Blowfin. Let me see if I can pull up Blowfin very fast. Oh, hold on a second here. Let me log into my account. Sometimes it makes me have to enter in a code for my email. Success. Yeah, I gotta enter a code for my email. Because I do want to see how some of these, I don't even know what you want to call them. They're very risky trades that I took, how they are doing. All right, let's see how this works out. There you go. And so far, I mean, we only have like 2 trades that are really doing well. The first one is Popcat. I heard this getting more exciting over the last few weeks. It's up 197% off of 2x leverage. And the other one is basically BNX, which is up 93%. Everything else is red and down quite a bit here. I know my head's blocking most of it, but there's only a few plays out there where I'm actually making some decent returns here. So I'm going to keep up the dollar cost averaging and probably buy up a little bit more here. I would say, next Thursday, this Thursday, I'll be adding up a little bit more here. Thursday is always the usual day to go for it. All right. Now, as far as everything else, you know, we know Bitcoin's doing pretty well right now. I know it doesn't look like it's the best. The ETFs are doing pretty well here as well. You can see it almost up to all-time highs here, which is kind of cool. Their charts all over the place, just like our ETFs, but give it some time. And then let's go over here very fast. And hey, 757 Lawn Landscapes, I'll get to your question in just 1 second. Thank you very much for the super chat, man. Overall, guys, as I'm looking at everything, got the MACD finally turning over. We have the opportunity to go a little bit higher, maybe as far as 69,000 by the end of the week if things look really, really good. At that point, I really don't know if we're breaking out. If we do, you know, hold on to your horses, because it's just going to be a roller coaster, to be frank. But everything else, you know, Ethereum, still kind of in that same general trend here. Solana, like right here, coming out of a breakout at this point in time. So this is kind of interesting to see how much higher it has to go. 50-day moving average, everybody watch those 50-day moving averages. They are definitely going to be a pain in your butt unless you can break out above them. You can see like WIF right here, you know, a meme token, it can do a little bit more fun here. But also I'm just basically watching out for those, because if we can break out above them, there is still a little bit more room on the upside here. For not for everything, but for a good amount of stuff here. You know, I'm even watching a little bit of Baby Doge right now to see what it can do. Some of those other things that we've been watching, like, you know, ADAs and whatnot, we're pretty darn far away from those 50s. But again, those are 20 right below that, so I'm hoping for some larger moves here. What has started to move here over the last few days, though, was the AI tokens. You guys will see that they actually had some pretty good moves. Again, hitting some levels of resistance at those 50-day moving averages. But those AI tokens, they've definitely been having some moves here. And I know it doesn't look the same because I have these like little tool things on here. They're definitely up against the wall here trying to break out. So I'm going to hope that we can have some larger moves. I'm hoping that my positions in these will be doing good. R&DR already break out above these levels here. So maybe it can even go higher above 1060 or something like that. So I'm pretty optimistic for this week. I'm really hoping we can have some larger moves. Last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is what I talked to you guys about on Sunday morning. Now, dollar index for the week. Pay attention. Last few weeks, we've been going in this uptrend here. A lot of volatility. You guys all know that at this point in time, we are coming down a little bit here. Tap back down on that 50-day moving average, obviously the other direction. But we have this level of support coming up. So even if the dollar index does start coming back down a little bit more here, and we start heading back down towards maybe 104 levels or so, CPI can definitely make or break that level. And if we have a decent CPI level coming out next Wednesday, this is where you see a breakdown, and this is where Bitcoin hits all-time highs. This is where all the problems over the last month go away really, really fast. If we have bad CPI, we shoot up, Bitcoin starts to go back down towards the high 50s, and then we're kind of in a crisis mode where we have to really wait a while before we see cryptocurrency really have a full-throated move to, historic all-time highs, if you will, and that kind of will cause a lot more chaos than I think it should. But again, everybody wants the market to really have a good time really, really fast. So just keep an eye on this. This has actually been a pretty good indicator of what Bitcoin's been doing, especially with these uptrends and whatnot. But, you know, day by day, there's been a lot of news coming out. Israel, Gaza news, Ukraine, Russia news. And then there was also, you know, just what is the Bank of Japan doing right now? That causing some interesting moves. And then China, the president of China, I think his name, is going over to Europe at this point in time. So just a lot going on here, guys. A lot going on, which can be pretty fun. My opinion on Chuck-based network on DEX chart looks fire. Let me see. DEX chart. You said Chuck? Let's see right here. I have no idea what Chuck this is. There are so many Chucks, my man. If you let me know exactly what to type in there and I'll look it up. But I mean, there's so many Chucks here. Chucky, Chuck Norris, another Chuck Norris, and Chuck against what anyway too. Oh, that should be interesting right there too. Chuck base, Inu. Yeah, let me know the ticker and I'll try to find that out for you. But I've never been good at looking at stuff on here from DEX screeners. There's just too many different of the same options. I second the R and DR question. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, render? We just talked about it literally just a few seconds ago, but I can point you in the right direction again. Yeah, here you go. So right now, we have seen this general breakout occurring here with the MACD turning positive. There was a breakout over here. I don't know if you bought it or not, but right now you'd probably still be holding on to it. You'd be doing your first or second scale out at this point in time. Most of you guys, like me, probably gonna do your first scale out up here. If you guys are like me, sometimes when I get more cautious, the first scale would be right there. Either way, it's still looking pretty well, but that next level of resistance is pretty close by, around 1052. Afterwards, you're basically not even gonna just use the $12 level there, or you are gonna be using the $12 level. Plus, I might just add in a Fibonacci extension tool just to see what's going on here, because it's definitely been kind of volatile. Yeah, you're getting close to hitting that target price right up here on 1073. Afterwards, it actually goes up pretty high towards all-time highs here on $14. Now, if I go back in time a lot, no, yeah, all-time highs. So I think you're in a good spot here, but I'd definitely be scaling out and not buying into this unless you may be waiting for a larger move. To me, this is more of a day trading candidate if you missed out on the swing trade right there. And even that swing trade was already kind of perilous at the beginning, just because, go over here, you would have had to have that stop loss way down here after the breakout, and just in case it kind of went sideways here, which it does happen a lot. Right now, you're just kind of letting that trade move its way out. But still, if you already have a position in it, it's doing pretty well for you, especially if you did that day trade. Hey, 757, let me know the ticker and exactly what it is, and I can try to help you out. NA87, neat wallpaper. This, oh no, this is just, what do you call this? Is just, I created it using Midjourney. I love a good nature landscape with Midjourney. Like there might be some imperfections in here somewhere, but they, it just looks so nice. I don't care about it. I don't pay attention to it just close enough. All right, let me see right here. And hey, Larry, happy to see this. Oh, let me see right here. Make a move on the 15. Watch this play out and see if we can actually do something. And hey, can Lambo time I wish. And hey, Robert, happy to see you. When do you think we'll cross all-time high this week or weekend? No, it would be sometime next week if we're going to reach all-time highs, if you ask me. Like, we could definitely have a pump to take us up close here. But you got to remember, the last few weeks when we've had some really large moves, it's primarily been economic news causing everybody to be like, oh yeah, the economy's slowing down more than we expected, or the economy's worse than we expected. Therefore, we should have interest rates coming down sooner than expected. That's going to be good news. That drives up the market. That's kind of the mentality that's been going on. So the last big time we had Bitcoin start to really pop off here was when we had the GDP number. This might not be the exact last time, but let's see. there we go. This one right here. GDP growth slowed to a 1.6 rate in the first quarter, well below expectations. This is the most important thing. Well below expectations, and we saw Bitcoin have a pretty large move. This was April 25th, so let me go back over here. Where was that? Yeah, right over here. See that kind of like crazy move right there? That was the last big move we had. This one over here, my mind is escaping me. There was something that came out that was a surprise to us. Oh, jobs numbers. So again, haha. And then this should be something here. This is what, Fox Business. Okay, don't want to play the video. Okay. Far fewer jobs added in April than expected. Again, a weaker market, and you saw, I don't want the video to play, so I'm just gonna get out of it. You saw the market go boom. We need to have bad economic news to have another big pump like we've been having over the past, 1-2 weeks here, basically. And if we get that, sure, we can really get close to all-time highs here. But the big catalyst that'll take us to that next step is going to be the CPI data and the PPI data coming out Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday's CPI data is going to be much more impactful, if you ask me, over the PPI data, just because one is the consumers, one is the more for the corporations and whatnot. But both are important, but I think the CPI has more weight to it. So that's going to be the big push that we need if you want to break all-time highs. But until then, we should have some news coming out. Perhaps maybe that ceasefire thing with Israel and Hamas works out. I don't know. Like, we're going to need to have something. Other than that, Bitcoin's going to kind of be grinding sideways for a little bit here, maybe have a pump up every now and again. But I don't expect some $4,000, $5,000 day, not like this here, right? We may have something like that, but nothing like that, if you ask me, unless we have some really good news coming out. And maybe it doesn't take the really crazy news, but we need some type of catalyst to get us that next leg up here, because it seems like as we've kind of come down over the past few months, the only thing really giving us any life is like, hey, maybe inflation isn't going to be as bad as we think, or maybe the economy is weaker than expected, or maybe we're going to have more rate cuts than we thought after all. Those type of events really cause Bitcoin to soar in a short amount of time. And I think there's a possibility there, that we have another news event like that soon enough. But this week, I think we heard today we heard that Robinhood got a Wells notice from, I didn't spell Robinhood right, but that's okay. Crypto is still pumping, sue Robinhood too. I mean, isn't that just the funniest shit? The SEC is now suing Kraken, Coinbase, Uniswap, MetaMask, and now Robinhood for the crime of helping regular Americans access crypto. Here's another one. The SEC just sent a Wells notice to Robinhood. The number they sent about crypto in recent months is astonishing. It's hard to imagine that they would or could bring so many enforcement actions at once. It seems like they're abusing the Wells process as a scare tactic now. Yeah, and they are. Remember, Robinhood does not have some large amount of crypto tokens. They have just like a handful of them. So it's just wild how they're trying to do this. But like I said before, I think this is just because they kind of realize that there's a substantial chance that right now Trump or maybe Kennedy's really maybe, they have a chance of, shaking up the election or at least winning the election. Trump probably has a better chance of winning than Kennedy, but Kennedy can definitely stir the pot here. And if that does happen, whether you guys agree with it or not, if that does happen, you are going to see a definite shift in the way policy is crafted for blockchain technologies in the cryptocurrency markets out there. I don't think you're going to see a SEC that is this hostile going forward. But again, who knows if Donald Trump's going to win? Who knows if RFK is going to have a shot? Right now, Biden's the president. He sets the policy. It's not a very favorable policy towards cryptocurrency or blockchain technology. But it's what we got. So we have to try to figure out the system and the way to go forward. At this point in time, you can definitely see there's more headwinds coming our way than tailwinds. But despite those headwinds, Bitcoin has still been able to trudge along. I would say cryptocurrency has still been able to trudge along only because the court systems, funny enough, have been like, you can't do this, SEC, this is illegal. Telling the SEC, no, you can't do this, you can't do this. But that still takes months and months and months for the court system to say, hey, no, you can't do this. You know what I mean? So we'll see. There, we needed catalysts for sure, and we've been getting a decent amount of these catalysts every now and again. And as long as we get one more, maybe here pretty soon, I think we'll be okay. Let me see if I can go over here to see if they got some market watch. Yeah, there it is. All right. Zoom. Fed President Kashkari speaks no. Consumer credit. Consumer credit could be interesting here if it's way outside the boundaries, but wholesale inventories could be something interesting here. Initial jobless claims on Thursday, that could be something right there. Consumer sentiment prelim, that could be interesting. I mean, so we do got some news coming out. I wouldn't say it's the craziest news, but there is some opportunity for some nice little pumps within there. Everything else, Tuesday, core PPI year over year. Wednesday, the big kahuna, core CPI. Yeah. Oh, it's the PPI. So that means the PPI is coming out on Tuesday. And then Wednesday. Oh. Why did I think it was the other way around here? Oh, well, that'll be interesting to say the least. Let me see if I can actually find this very fast. So I want to see what the... So we don't have the forecast just yet for this. I want to see what the forecast is going to be for the April CPI. That way we know when the number comes out, is it good or bad? Because you know it's going to be volatile. Because again, this shows you how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is about a year. Okay, this is a year. And a couple more months, this whole year of inflation is going to look completely flat without any meaningful move down, which is kind of crazy. You know, we should have been battling inflation a little more. I think we just kind of gave up the fight a little bit too early, but you know what? Give it some time and maybe it'll actually start to crack here a little bit later on in the year, perhaps. I still think there's an opportunity, but you can definitely see we're just way more elevated than we need to be. And, you know, it's not good, but it's not like the most terrible thing in the world just because the economy overall is still chugging along here. And hey, Doge Spike. Hey, Haram. Happy to see you back, man. Lost my job at the week at the boatyard. Storming rain ever since, so not upset and more time to look at the charts north of you in Washington. Hey, man, nice to see somebody else from Washington over here. And sorry about the job, man. I've definitely feel the pain there. I've been laid off a couple times. Hello, friend. Let's see. Invest money Brazil. Ooh, that's interesting right there too. Long since 61.8. Oh yeah, you're making a pretty good amount of money right now. And hey, Steve, I saw your comment on that. Your top 10 was a good video. Unfortunately, I live in New York, can only buy RNDR, ICP, and Fetch. Yeah, it's so weird that there's not as many opportunities. I tried to split them up a little bit more, and I know those meme tokens definitely are a little bit more risky. But, you know, like when I gave that video, I think I was using this picture here. Must have been this one right here. Was it this one? Yeah, here we go. So I was using this to try to like just, you know, copy and paste and then use all the numbers from this. Let me zoom in here a little bit more. So at the time when I was making this video, before crypto started to pump off, I thought I had more time, honestly. A lot of the tokens looked a lot more attractive than they do now because everything's kind of pumped up a little bit more. So for instance, let me go over here to, you know, my picks for this. ICP was $12.84. Right now it's $12.79. That actually hasn't moved at all yet, so that's actually kind of nice. WIF was at $2.55. Maybe they're not terrible. And WIF's at $2.55. Oh, geez, now WIF is at $3.45. So there are some good moves and some not good moves. Fetch AI was at $196, and now it's at $2.40. Yeah, so okay, then, you know, Ajax was at 80 cents, and now Ajax is at 99 cents. So, you know, I wish I was able to put that video out early. But again, I'm trying to work on templates to make my streams a little bit better. I've been trying to make videos more and more and more, and just the process of going through everything really just hurts my head. So what I'm going to try to do is just make a video about me talking about everything and then not use so much charts. Like maybe do a chart for like a few seconds. And then after that, I'll be like, I won't mind if I have to look at notes like this over here while I'm talking to you guys. And I'll just read some notes off to you guys while like going back and forth like this, like this, like that. And then afterwards, you know, in editing, I'll add a chart that just these guys see for 5 seconds with a market cap and some other information. And then I'll make it a little bit easier. Because basically what I'm starting next Sunday here, and I kind of did a little bit of it this Sunday, is I'm going to do a little bit of a market recap for what happened last week, what's happening the next week, you know, as far as news and stuff like that, and then breaking down maybe 1 or 2 charts that I'm looking at that have some really good possibilities. And it probably would be Bitcoin plus 1 or 2 charts. And right now, those charts I'm really looking at happen to be those more correlated to AI tokens, because again, they're just nicer in my opinion. And then maybe some meme tokens and such, because there have been some opportunities to be sure. But AI tokens seems like there's a lot more opportunity for people to actually buy those, because governments and whatnot definitely have their issues. Hold on a second here. All right, so my sister texted me. I just want to make sure everything was okay. And hey, Gambit, happy to see you back, man. I accidentally hit the wells at all command. Once, geez. They should all get together and count. Well, I don't know. What do you call I don't know, guys. They're not good faith actors. That's all I can say. This is the way I just have to describe them, because I don't think they're actually good faith actors. I don't think they're trying to help out people or some certain type of way. And so I just don't exactly know. I don't have empathy from anything behind them, and I just don't think the system is going to let them do something like that, like all band together to help out. That being said, I do think after a lot of money has been spent and a lot of time has been spent, I do think the SEC is going to lose each one of these cases. I just don't see how they can win, because again, they're starting to flip-flop on a whole bunch of their previous statements. If you guys recall, they went in front of Congress, I think it was like last year or the year before, and the SEC head Gary Gensler, he says Ethereum is not a security. Well, now he's saying Ethereum is a security. And so when you have yourself under oath going in front of Congress saying Ethereum is not a security, and then your agency goes out and sues because you say Ethereum is security, a reasonable judge is going to look at that and says, like, what are you guys doing over? Like, what? You can't do that. Like, remember, if you're a company and you're watching this to try to learn, just learn what's going on in this space so you can make appropriate business decisions, and the SEC chair goes in front of Congress under oath and he says Ethereum is not a security, and and then he sues you months later for treating Ethereum not as a security, you're going to be frustrated about it, right? And even I'm kind of stuttering out a little bit talking about it. It's just it's just And hey, Steve, Joe had some bad data today. Oh, I didn't even see the bad data. I didn't get much sleep last night. Basically, I went to bed like around 5 o'clock because I was just exhausted. I woke up at midnight, and then I was up since midnight. I don't know why, and so I'm trying to stay up right now. So it's been a long day. I don't know what the heck's going on, but I need to get my peace and sleep back. Good news is my ear is 99.9% healed up and cleared, which means I have hardly any more issues. I'm still taking my antibiotics and stuff just in case, but I'm like pretty much back to good old self besides, sleep and whatnot. So I'm really excited there. Today I spent a good amount of time outside with Loki and he was loving it. Supposedly Mossad just tried to take out MBS of Saudi. Holy shit, that would be a crazy. I mean, I'm looking at oil prices right now. We're definitely hovering around support here. I sold off the rest of my PXD before I wasn't able to do any more because, it got bought out. I don't know what oil company I wanted to put my money into because I think, PXD just got bought out by ExxonMobil. And so basically, if you look at the chart, my PXD, it's no longer there. I had to sell all of it. It was sad. You know, I was thinking maybe something like a Schlumberger, perhaps. I want to put a little bit more money in there to see where it can go. But then I was like, you know what? You know, Zom has been the only thing that's really been performing to the degree I want it to be. So I'm thinking of just shoving like 50% of the money I had in PXD, including the profits, straight into ExxonMobil, and then maybe adding a little bit more to ConocoPhillips here. Those are the two I might have to put that money back into. But if you go over here, and I'm looking at tons of oil stocks right now because I need to have my oil. You know, I need to have my oil. Energy. Oh, I'll just go to any for now. And I just want to have a decent where be it. God, they changed this whole layout up and it freaks my head out. Trades, no. Market cap, there we go. Over 3% dividend. And let's go over here to charts, and then let's go over here to market cap. I want to have a no. I want to have larger. There you go. All right, there's like 32 that I'm looking at. You can see a lot of these things is stuff I'm not gonna look at. APA, no. BP, no. CQP, no. CNQ, that's Canada, no. Chevron, Chevron, I'm not entirely sure. This one kind of has. This one can drop like a rock here, and I don't like it as much because of that. Maybe I'd buy it on those drops, but I wouldn't necessarily be holding up at these levels. Maybe EOG might be a good move here. I'm not entirely sure. ENB, perhaps. That's Canada. Again, I don't like Canada. Norway. Enterprise Productions, EPD. That could be interesting if it comes down a little bit more. But you can see right now, you know, there's... Maybe this one. Oniok, I can't pronounce that one. This is a pretty good uptrend here. Maybe that'll be something I can toss a few $100 into. If I really like it, maybe nah, I might toss a couple thousand in that one if it works out well. Yeah, these two I kind of like a little bit more. No more PXD though. This one's done now. I had a good run. I made a lot of money off of that thing. I was very surprised they got bought out by ExxonMobil though. I was not prepared for that because my dividends didn't go as far as they used to because of that move. Oh well, it'll work its way out here. It can be great news in the market. Just loves to go down. Hey, Mike, are we bullish or bearish tonight? Right now, I'd say we're probably a little bit more bullish here. I mean, we could make one last dip or something like that. The big thing right now is we're gearing up for that larger move that's going to try to make us break above the 50-day moving average right there. That seems to be the issue. Or if you want to go over to your 4-hour chart, similar spot is going to be the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart here. That could be something too. For me, it almost feels like we have to consolidate a little bit more time for that 50 moving average here to curl up, and that's going to be the big move. So it might not actually happen until tomorrow, but right now I'd still be more in the trying to dollar cost average, buy a little bit over here, buy a little bit if it comes back down here, and then wait for that next move to push us up. So I'm more in a buying mood at this point than or maybe you might even just say waiting to buy mode at this point. There we go, back up there. Definitely expect more volatility to come out, which is going to be kind of the fun thing about today. To be frank, though, I haven't even been looking at much of Bitcoin after I made those 2 day trades a couple days ago. I'm looking at some of these altcoins here and seeing if they're going to break out pretty soon. I'm looking to day trade those over swing trading and doing these trades like with Bitcoin. I really want to see some of these altcoins have some big moves. We could even see WIF trying to make a move back up right now. Bonk on the 4-hour chart. You can see how it broke out. Came back down kind of hard. I'm hoping that can have a reversal here. Miro looking for a larger breakout to happen pretty soon. This thing got kind of hammered over the past few weeks. Baby Dogecoin, not really on the top of my list, but I'm kind of just curious to see where it goes. Book of Meme broke out above the 200 already, still going higher. Sheeb already broke out once. I'm not as excited about this one, but I'm going to be watching a little bit closely here. And of course, if I do see anything like a Fetch AI primarily, because you can do a higher leverage play on that one. So Fetch AI up against the 50. Watch that there. Oh, it's already about to break out here, actually. So waiting for that move to chug us along. And again, if I put that right there, you'll see that there. We're trying to have a larger move. So a nice day trade here. So I'd like to be going long AI tokens primarily. I would also probably like to do a little bit of going in on Bitcoin, but I think there's just more profit right now from going while trading AI tokens at this point. Ajax trying to make a similar move. World tokens, like we talked about before, doing pretty well. I already have a couple longs on a world token though. Those are dollar cost averages though, so. But overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy with where the market's going. Much like I said before, I wish I had like a really good reason to do dollar cost average, swing trading right now. But the dollar cost averaging is definitely where I'm at, or day trading. Day trading has been so fruitful the last few days after a period where I have not been doing much trading whatsoever. I primarily use Robinhood for crypto, mostly for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Would it be safer to move over to Fidelity? I would try out Fidelity just to see if you like it. It's not that like Robinhood's some type of unsafe area. It's just that primarily it depends on what you want to buy. So if you wanted to have access to Bitcoin and Ethereum, you could try to go through Fidelity. You could try to go through Coinbase. There's a lot of avenues. For me, I like to buy assets. I like to put them in cold storage. So Fidelity really isn't my cup of tea. But if you wanted to have access to the Bitcoin ETFs and whatnot, oh yeah, I would definitely consider, just parking your money there instead of going over to the Robinhood. Yeah, just because I like Fidelity so much more. Like, Schwab. Schwab recently bought, not recently, but they did buy TD Ameritrade a while back. That's also been good news for the TD Ameritrade holders if you care about that type of stuff. But for me, it kind of depends on what you want to do with those assets. I would say, like, if you're happy with Robinhood, you don't have to really move your money around. It's just nice to, if you own the ETF, that money is insured. That's insured position. I don't believe it's insured under Robinhood if you own Bitcoin. But if you own the Bitcoin through Robinhood, you could always move it outside the wallet to a cold storage, and you can kind of just let it sit there for a long period of time if that's your goal. If you're kind of holding in and out for a few days at a time, then it doesn't matter as much. Thoughts on Mog coin? I think Mog's doing fine, but I'm just dollar cost averaging it. Oh no. I'm trying to find a way to dollar cost average it. I still don't believe it's on any of the exchanges that I know myself or that I use myself. Let's see. Yep, don't have access to that. It might be on crypto.com, but I have not yet to see it on there. Let's see. Oh, crypto.com. And let me see. Yeah, Face ID. Oh, my phone's gonna die here pretty soon. Trade. Oh god, there's so many pop-ups on this. It drives me freaking nuts. Alright, so trade. Buy. Mog. Oh, it is on here now. Oh, interesting. Okay, there is some. So I might have to dollar cost average some into Mog here. So yeah, I'm more in a dollar cost average mentality when it comes to Mog though. Change something up right here. The new Robinhood wallet actually seems pretty legit. Oh, that could be interesting too. I haven't had a chance to test it out yet. And hey, Shannon, a third-party candidate can't win in our current political system. Getting governments to use ranked choice voting is needed for that. Some city governments use it. That could be actually pretty interesting. I'd be curious to see if we can actually get that done. I think right now, from the people that I know, that my friends that are voting for like RFK, they pretty much don't like Trump and they don't like Biden. I think a lot of them voted for Biden in 2020 because they thought things might kind of settle down They wanted the economy to kind of be a little bit better, but like inflation has sapped their souls out. You know, if you live out here around Seattle or just a large city, I don't know much about rural areas because I just don't go out there as much, but you know things are kind of out of hand with prices, and I think they're just kind of ticked off about it. But again, you know, no matter who wins, you know, I live out in Washington State. We normally don't feel the ramifications of whoever is president. Like rarely, I would say. I like pipelines and shipping companies for oil, natural gas, propane. What do you call oil? I've been so locked into oil lately. I've just really been putting everything else in the back burner as far as natural gas and propane. I would even say propane is probably overtaking natural gas in my opinion, just because of my new bias against natural gas. Because it's like natural gas, something you just put money in it, and you just gotta wait. And so I don't mess with it. Even some of the things out there that I've been buying for a long time, like I don't know. I once had $1,000 stake in Lucid, and I just don't think it's worth $1,000 anymore. All right, it's stuff like that. This isn't a horrible day. It basically just brings you right back to where it was before. But you know, once upon a time, I dollar cost averaged all this. I sold a little bit up here, and I thought maybe it would keep on going up, but no, it has kept on going down and down and down and down and down and down and down. Now again, we'll see what happens with Lucid, but it's definitely been a headache for me. Not like a financial headache, you would say, but just like, damn, I thought it was going to do so much better as I read through the data and I kind of did my research. I thought I could do a lot better, but they've really been having just general management issues, if you ask me, where the people they have in positions of power inside that company, they're just not the right folks, which is kind of sucky. Having limited options is probably good. I would be buying way too many coins. Well, one of the interesting things, Steve, about having too many tokens is, you know, you do see the money kind of spread out a little bit more, which means you typically don't have those mega movers like you did like Dogecoin back in the day. I'm curious to see if we can get a move like that this time around, especially if we can get everybody to kind of coalesce around one token. There's going to be too many people that try to sell that big token, they move it over to the next best thing. You know, it's going to be a kind of a hassle, but it'd be interesting. Do I own any XLK? I do not. Chuck? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I wish I could find that one. What do you call it? Should be interesting, though. And again, if you guys see a token that you guys like that's moving up pretty fast, just make sure you guys are prepared for some volatility. The good thing about those type of tokens is you can almost treat it like a casino of some types, where you don't have to put in a large amount of money to make money. Like if I'm trading an AI stock right now, or WIF, or, you know, Miro, Bonk, or Fetch AI, or RNDR, I'm usually tossing in a couple grand or something like that. When it comes to those type of smaller tokens, I can just toss in $50 and just kind of see where it goes, because the market cap is so small that I can turn that $50 into a couple $1,000 in a couple weeks. So there is that cool opportunity there. All thanks to King County. Yeah, King County is an interesting. I don't live in King County. I moved right south of it because I don't want to deal with it. And hey, Ken, Lucy just cooked ahead a friend go all in a couple years ago and is on a live watch today. What do you call it? That's why you don't go all in. Yes, where you do small amounts of money, you dollar cost into it, and then you see where it goes. Oh God, people should like, guys. You gotta diversify. Diversifying always keeps everybody really, really happy. And then when you make money, you're very, very happy with that money. I think people just want money too fast, and they're really looking for that life-changing wealth. And even, like, you know, more even today more than ever, just because the economy is so shit because of inflation. You know, you want to have the ability to go spend your money and go do stuff. Like I was talking with my the lady who does my hair, and I was explaining to her, like, you know, I was how a lot of my acquaintances out around Seattle and whatnot, they don't necessarily have the same amount of money to go out and do a whole bunch of stuff like I do. And part of it is because they have this like natural high expense to living in the city. So like they have a nice apartment. That apartment is like maybe an average apartment to most of you guys, but because of the locations, it's like also like a $3,000 to $4,000 apartment, right? On top of that, you have to pay for your parking spots, you have to pay for your car, your insurance, your rental insurance. You got to pay for a whole bunch of shit out there nowadays. So even if we're making comparable income, or even if I'm making a little bit more than them, it's very, very hard for them to go out and like save as much money. Or, I like to go out and I like to go to rooftop bars is my thing. I like to go out and have a cigar, something like that. They might not have the money for that all the time. They'll have it for certain days, like the weekends, but they just can't go willy-nilly go and smoke whenever they want to, or go do something whenever they want to, because they have to budget properly. Now I budget, but I give myself a lot of money to just waste. And unfortunately for me, a lot of that money has been going into buying boxes of rare cigars. I haven't bought a box of rare cigars in like the past 3 weeks. I'm pretty proud of myself. Instead, I've been working on the YouTube channel and building out like 3 templates for 3 styles of videos I want to do. Ooh, excuse me. And hopefully those are okay. But yeah, I'm going to be the first to admit I lost some money in Lucid. I'm not selling it. I'm going to see where it goes. I'm really just going to see where it goes. But I stopped investing in that sucker a long time ago, and I've just watched my money go down, down, down. Eventually, I'll take the loss primarily for tax purposes, but I just want to give it a few more years to see where it goes. I mean, like, I've already waited a few. What's another few going to do to me? And hey, dude, happy to see my man. It's expensive just to live? Well, again, it just depends on where you guys are at. In Seattle, Washington, Tacoma, Washington, Olympia, Washington, kind of like the areas where I'm most frequent. Yeah, it's pretty darn expensive. I've already showed you guys the Zillow posts and stuff like that before. Like, here, let me see if I can find it. Zillow, Seattle. If you want it real expensive, go over here to Bellevue. That's a whole different level than Seattle. But if you just wanted to get a rental house out here, like, for rent. Nobody needs to buy in Seattle. I don't know. Here's one. This has like a nice view, I think. Kind of like a rooftop vibe. I kind of like this. Yeah, look at that vibe. That's a nice place. Right? Barbecue grill, view of a church. Not bad, right? Get your apartments and whatnot. You get a little balcony. Actually looks pretty good. So if you wanted a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, that's going to cost you around $1,900. And it's going to give you around 536 square feet. If you want an extra few square feet, so 576 square feet, that's going to cost you $2,080. So, you can see the layout. You walk inside. You have entry right here. You have a bathroom, a bedroom, a dining room, a living room, and a kitchen. That's basically what you're paying for these days. It's crazy, And, it depends on your budget and stuff like that. But the people that live in those are not the people that are getting the best tech jobs. Those people have like $5,000 a month apartments and whatnot. Like where my friends used to live at over here. Denny Park. Oh, there it is. 16 units right here. Yeah, there you go. Like here, studio. I've been inside one of these units before. $2,272. 1 bath. And 1 bedroom type of thing. So you can imagine like a sofa bed right there, a bathroom, which is a pretty spacious bathroom, and washer dryer in unit, and you got your refrigerator, dishwasher, oven, and a view of the outside. It's not my cup of tea, but people do it. You know what I mean? There's amenities in this place that are kind of cool, but also some amenities you got to pay for on top of the room, which is kind of crazy. But it's a really cool place. If you guys, want to plop down that type of money. But again, a lot. Deposit fee $600, application fee is $0. Oh, you can do a 6-month or a 7-month lease. That's kind of interesting. Normally I'm used to just 12s. But if you want 1 bedroom, 1 bath for 777 square feet, that jumps you up to $3,138. You know what I mean? If you want to have, what's a 2-bed, 2-bath? Do they have them in here? Yeah, if you want a 2-bed, 2-bath, it's going to cost you $4,300 for 1,100 square feet. You know what I mean? Like, must be the entry in here. Yeah, bath, yeah. So it's, it's kind of crazy. Now, there are places that are, I would say, cheaper than that, a lot cheaper than that. But what you're giving up typically is like a newer building. And I like older style buildings myself because those older style buildings will actually have really nice wood floors. But that's kind of a personal preference. My last apartment in Tacoma, I've showed you guys it a few times. It was very, very lovely. I had a wonderful view of the water. It was freaking nice. But I did not have a washer dryer in my unit. Some of you guys may think that is the worst thing imaginable. And yeah, it sucked. Don't get me wrong. But having a nice, cheap, affordable apartment where I didn't have to worry about money, it goes so much further. I think people nowadays, they really want those nice cars, those nice apartments. I have, well, I guess now got, you know, a house, whatnot, but I've always liked those cheaper apartments in a nice area because you kind of give up amenities for a cheaper place, basically. Maybe not the location, but you give up amenities. And then on top of that, you will have an older car, like I have a car from 2014. The money I save and not paying for new insurance is insane. The money I save from not having a new car is insane overall. So it's that type of stuff. But, you know, if you want to have that lifestyle, the lifestyle itself is just so expensive. And, you know, I'm not knocking anybody from wanting to have the lifestyle. I'm just saying it's more expensive than I thought it was going to be when I was younger, a kid, you know. I used to think that having 100K, you know, making 100K a year was going to be the best thing in the world. I can go live I can go anywhere I wanted to the world whenever I wanted to. And I guess I make a little bit more than that now, obviously. But what do you call, I still don't just do whatever I want to with my money. I still have to be a little bit frugal about everything, just a little bit. Hence why I waste all my money on cigars. King County has always been the voting power. Hey, every now and again when Pierce County teams up with everybody, King County loses, but then King County cries to the court system and Olympia, then the Olympia court will overturn everything. LAC raises $275 million at $5, then the government loan $226. Oh geez. GM needs lithium for EV batteries. Oh yeah, I've been hearing about that a lot. What's Stuttgart? What's Stuttgart? I can't pronounce that properly. Is that a city for a living? It is what it is, but just nuts. Grew up in Hawaii and have lived in New York City for a few years. You have different properties, but it hurts with crypto in the way to finance freedom, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. Like, for me, guys, remember, at the end of the day, if you guys can find a way to live outside the States, that's kind of what I'm going for. I make good money. I could live very, very prosperously outside of America, but I'm going to have to give up that American culture that I know and love, right? So I'm going to be moving to Panama or Thailand. I think Panama is still in the lead right now, but regardless, it's not going to be Washington State culture down there or over there in Thailand, you know? That's New York City rent. Yeah. Remember, Seattle has a Boeing, not the headquarters anymore, but there's a lot of Boeing workers here. Microsoft, Amazon, T-Mobile, and some other large companies here that I just can't recall. And yeah, they pay a lot of money to their employees, and that drives that rental market up quite a bit. And hey, Mimi, I have no car payment. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No cable? I don't have cable, but I pay for YouTube Premium, which has always been a good investment if you ask me. Then on top of that, I also have the LG TV channels built in. I was watching Cook's Country here earlier today in 4K Ultra HD. Ooh, 4K TV just hits a lot differently. If only we could actually have that through, cable, maybe I would even think about it. But all I really want for cable is just your basic, channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up to 20 or something like that. That's typically all I've ever been looking for. International El Salvador. I was thinking about El Salvador, but my grandparents would be too scared to go, so I just kind of checked it. I'm like, eh. I was looking at Ecuador, but then they had a huge attack where their cable stations and stuff got attacked by the gangs. And I was like, okay, Ecuador is now off the list. So now it's pretty much between Panama and Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand, or Chiang Mai, Thailand. I can't pronounce the second one. But yeah, those two areas. But I'm going to go on trips next year to both of them to kind of verify. I think the Panama trip I'm taking this year, though, just to get out of the way. And then the Thailand trip is going to be a lot longer of an experience because I'm probably going to have to spend 2 to 3 weeks out there. It's not going to be expensive to stay out there, but the flight, oh God, I think I'm going to have to get a business class flight. So that'll already be costing me an arm and a leg because I'm going to be chauffeured everywhere I go over there. Let me see if I can find this very fast. Accommodations for rent. 940. Oh, 36 meters. Oh, damn. Some of these places are just tiny. Oh, it's weird how they have a field in here. 1280 for, yeah, these are crazy expensive. 14 meters squared, 20 meters squared. Yeah, that's I don't know what see I don't know much about world economies as far as what each country specializes in, but I am curious to see what makes that a German economy kind of rumble and tumble here. Oh, and just so you guys know, we are looking at a pretty green day across a lot of different charts here. We see a bit of red right here, but those are just stable coins. World tokens up, Ajax is up, FA is up, Fetch is up, RNDR is up, GRT, RLC, Ocean's up. We're seeing a lot of good moves here. Let me actually go over here very fast and go. ENA is up 10, Jupiter's up 6. Jupiter's been very, very volatile as of late. Injective's up 5, Dogwave Head is up 10%. Yeah, we have some really nice moves here, guys, the last 24 hours. We also have some stuff that's been going down, like Akash Network and EGLD. Bonk is down a little bit, but Bonk went crazy early in the week, so I can kind of understand that. Yeah, these day trades are probably going to be the best thing we have going for us for maybe the next couple of days here. Philippines could also be interesting here. I just have friends that live in Thailand, so that's the only reason Thailand took the top of the list. For me, I just want to live in an area where they have very, very, very good Wi-Fi. That's all I care about. Sure, a nice house will go far in Asia. That doesn't cost a lot of money. I don't even need to buy a house. I'll just rent a house. That's not a problem. The problem for me is getting Loki over there in a safe and reasonable manner. I've even been looking at doing charters on commercial ships because I don't want Loki to be flying a plane unless he really, really has to. Because I just know he'll be like freaking terrified the entire way. But what do you call it? Like I'm not entirely sure how I want to go about it. Really, the only thing stopping me, I think, from going Asia #1 and Panama #2 is basically just how do I get Loki over there? I think that's the only real big thing, that's the hurdle. Like if I had enough money, I would try to just get a private jet so you can stay in the cabin with me from Seattle to Thailand. But there's no way I can afford to have that a jet like that. It's so expensive. So I thought, maybe I can try to find a commercial ship that's going over there, and maybe I can try that, but I'm not even entirely sure. Right now, Panama, I would probably try to, I'm not even sure at this point. It's going to be hard to get for Loki to go anywhere at this point. Zurich rent super cheap. I wonder why though. Oh, downtown price. That makes sense. Okay. They all speak English in the Philippines. That's always nice. I know a couple of my mother's old caretakers were from the Philippines. Boracay? Is that how you pronounce it? Huh. I'm going to have to add that onto my list. I'll have to look at that too. Best looking women too. Going to Vietnam this year. I definitely want to go to Asia more. I was there 5 times. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a lot, DeVal. Oh, your wife is Filipino? I get what you're saying. Just get Loki a service dog vest and bring him on board. $50. Oh, okay, Gamma. That could actually be worth it. Again, how do I don't know if we know if there's cruises that go over there, but if there is, I mean, I wouldn't even go enjoy the cruise. I would literally just stay in the room with Loki the entire time because I'd be too cautious to get us a balcony room. But like here. USA to hold on a second here. Open up here, so let's try to use cookies. Holland American line. Here we go. Destinations, Asia. See, but I'm not leaving freaking Tokyo. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, here we go. Seattle. There we go. Ports of call. There we go. So we got some options here. 53 Majestic. Oh, but it goes all the way around. 51 day Majestic. $8,000 wouldn't be terrible, but see, it's only taking me to part of the way. So maybe I'll try to find a different one. But Legendary voyage, freaking 51 days. That's kind of crazy. I can understand to get over there, but I don't know if I want to take the trip back. You know what I mean? But not like not unheard of. I would I would pay that to get Loki over there. A lot cheaper than a private jet. I'll tell you that. And hey, Catherine, that might be the best way to actually go about it here, especially if I get him a service type like Gambit was talking about. 15 hours to Taiwan by plane. Yeah, then 2 hours. Yeah, definitely a long trip. That was why I felt I was going to get jumped, walk down the wrong alley. Oh, geez. I try to make myself be as safe as possible, but I definitely know there are some places in every town where you just should not go. I try my best to learn those places as soon as I visit, or I talk to the taxi driver or the Uber driver, like, hey, where should I not be going? And sometimes it helps. Sometimes other times you just gotta take a gamble. But that's why I don't get crazy drunk in other countries. Last time I went to El Salvador, I got drunk, but I didn't get crazy drunk. I get buzzed and I hit that happy spot, then I just don't drink anymore, and I get myself Pellegrino waters. Is that what you call it? Yeah, you guys know what this is. Like, even when I go to the sparkling lounge, that was called? Yeah, this thing. I guess maybe the bottle I get is a little bit larger, it looks like, but still, after I smoke us a couple cigars and I've had a few drinks, I finish off the night with one of these every single time. There we go, yeah. One of these. Every single one. I drink the whole thing, and I chill out for another couple hours, and I go home. Pretty darn nice. Too touristy? Oh, yeah, what do you call? Well, I always like to enjoy the touristy places at the beginning, though. I think usually when I go to another country, I go to the touristy places first, kind of gather my bearings, and then from there I try to go to the outskirts of towns and kind of see what's out there. But I usually have to find a good driver, and those good drivers can be hard to find sometimes. And Alex, I know I can get Starlink, but for me, I just want to really have good grounded Wi-Fi, like good data, like not Starlink. Because sometimes I will have to deal with storms, and I'd prefer to be able to stream with you guys, upload, and not have any issues there. And maybe I'd even have Starlink as a backup on top of that. You know what I mean? But I don't want to have to ever worry about internet. It's just something I hate to worry about. Granted, like, I live in a nice area out in Washington State. I still worry with internet, so who am I to speak? What do you call it? I can I was like, what the heck is that? I'll have to deal with it eventually, But I don't think it'll be the biggest part of my troubles when I'm moving. The biggest fear I have is, how hard is it going to be to acclimate to the new environment, the new culture, stuff like that. How do I make new friends in this area? I'll know people, I guess, but they're not going to be like people I hang out with on a daily basis. I may hang out with them, but it's not like we're going to be best buds forever. It's like we're good acquaintances. We know each other through business and stuff like that. We'll grab a few drinks every now and again, and that'll be about it. I got to make some good friends while I'm over there too. Futures are down a little bit right now. Twist and Warren Buffett succession plan raises eyebrows among Berkshire's Omaha faithful. Israel Rafa. Boeing will launch NASA's astronauts to space for the first time. Oh, that's gonna be crazy. See, I don't want to be owning Boeing when they're doing shit like that. Hey, Nicholas. Yeah, I mean, there's not much going on with Bitcoin right now. I could try to huff and puff and make you guys think that something really crazy is about to happen. Right now, I told you guys I'd be more likely to buy than sell at this point in time. I'm kind of just waiting to see. And primarily, I'm looking to dollar cost average, or I'm looking to day trade AI tokens. That's about the news for the day. I got a bad headache today. I'm kind of tired. I don't want to stress myself out by going over a whole bunch of stuff. So, could be a nice chill stream here. When the market starts to heat up, I get more data analytical and stuff like that, more practical, sure. But again, there's nothing really happening today, which kind of makes it nice and easy. I guarantee you're going to see a lot of, I don't know. There's always going to be people that say like something crazy is happening, something really cool is happening. Right now, I think altcoins are having a lot more fun than Bitcoin. But the only reason Bitcoin went up, remember, is because of that economic data. Altcoins are where I see all the fun happening. And that's the title of the video, like altcoins go wild or something like that. There's a reason why I chose to talk a lot about altcoins today. That's the Philippines, hands down. Oh, there you go. Okay, I'll add that to my list and I'll start researching that alongside Thailand. Remember, there's no rush for me to get over there. My big thing is, literally, just how do I get Loki over there? That's with any place that I move, my only major concern is getting Loki over there and making sure that there's no way whatsoever that he can get lost or he's separated from me and stuff like that. The anxiety would be way too great, like way too freaking great. Freak me out. Most airlines let you buy an extra seat for your dog carrier. See, that could be worth it. Loki could get his own business class seat, like the ones that recline. I'd pay for that. I'd pay for that in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? But again, chill pill, yeah, I get that from, that'd be worth it. On international flights, they may be stored in cargo. Yes, yeah, I'm just not entirely sure. I got to do more research. I got to ask a bunch of questions. I'm probably going to hire somebody to kind of do some of this work for me because I don't have the time for it, or not even the time, just the ability to focus enough and like get all the notes down. And I try to use ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is fucking useless when it came to this type of stuff. Flight scrubbed. Oh, what's that mean? Joe below a strong buy. For me, I'd rather be in the buy camp, but honestly, I'm just personally what I'm doing is I'm sitting on my hands. I've already made 2 good day trades. We're looking at some resistance at this point in time here, right? Dealing with the 250 moving averages or the 50 on the daily chart. I really want to see if we can get one more pump in here. Again, if I want to have a stop loss, that stop loss is going to be at 62,500 or down here at 61,500. Those are my stop losses for right now, and I'm okay with those as far as I'm concerned. I really just want to see some good economic data coming out. That's all I want to see because it's going to be a very abnormal pump when it does happen. But again, if I'm buying, it's going to be on like Fetch AI, Ajax, something like that. Not so much Bitcoin here. My dog is the reason why I don't leave the house much. Dude, I totally get you. I totally get you, man. It's definitely been, it's not hard to leave Loki behind because he's used to it now. But like when it comes to a plane or a cruise something, like he's not going to leave my site. He's not going to leave my site for a freaking minute. Mana? Yeah, Mana is pretty much the same as a lot of other tokens that we've been talking about. You can see last time we were talking about this, we talked about it having a move up, it looks like, and then having a lot of consolidation kind of around here at this old level of resistance. Right now, it's only moved up a little bit, kind of gone a little bit more sideways here. The weekly charts are still pretty bearish here, unfortunately. Let me get rid of this 20 here. Still pretty bearish. Hopefully we can find a way to get pumped up. The daily charts, yeah, definitely a lot more bullish here. That's kind of nice to see. Really, you've already had that breakout there. That next level of resistance is kind of close by, isn't it? Yeah, it's already kind of hit it right around 45, 65. Short term, maybe you're looking up at here on 0.5329. That's quite a bit higher than where we are. So if you do have another move, I'd probably say scale out is going to be around 47 cents, then 50, then all the way up here on kind of 53. I might even just move that to the hard level of resistance around 50 cents though, just because by the time we get up here, the 50 will have crossed down here for a death cross. So you're definitely looking at some weird moments. Even though the weekly chart is kind of bearish here, Bitcoin, again, we're kind of waiting for that CPI data for the big move to come next week. I would still say this is an okay opportunity if you wanted to do something like a day trade or a swing trade, where you would want to buy up here, again, wait for that resistance level like we talked about over there, and really have a stop loss down here. Nice, simple, wait it out. If it crashes down here and hits the stop loss, you lost some money, but you're okay with it because you have other positions out there. But I'd really just try to make that trade right there. That's what I'd be looking for. I know same thing we talked about last time when somebody else asked the question. But again, I'd still just be waiting for that larger move to happen. The thing is, it's going to be a huge gamble because we have to really worry about what's coming along with CPI data next Wednesday. CPI data is never a fun thing. Or it could be fun, but it's usually a very volatile thing where everybody's freaking out one way or the other about what's going on. Arkham? I haven't talked about Arkham in a hot minute. Arkham's at 4%. It's been gearing up for the past few weeks. Oh yeah, you can see that flag break it right there, and it's been going up ever since. How's the weekly chart going too? Yeah, it bounced off the 20 just like Bitcoin. Hit that level of resistance, got knocked back down. Let's go back over here very quickly. So far doing pretty good for the long terms here. So we had a weekly chart here, already breaking out above it. I would say this has opportunity to get back above $3. That's kind of how I'd be looking at this. You do have, it looks like, a few levels of resistance here and there, but one at 279, and after 279, I mean, you go straight up towards 1313. Let me see, 313, excuse me. Plus golden cross grip. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely something I'd be lucky to buy into here. Now we're still going sideways at this point in time. Right, see that horizontal? I would try to be accumulating in here and waiting for the large move to come up. I don't know how long I'd want to hold it though. I might not even wait for 1313. I might just try to sell somewhere at the halfway point here and get it over with, especially if we have a pretty robust quick move. I'd be looking to get rid of it sooner rather than later though, just because again, the volatility with Bitcoin here. Bitcoin over the past few weeks has definitely been in the mindset of, hey, we're going to grind up a little bit, grind, then we're going to crash. And not even crash, just have a larger drop. That's what I'm still afraid is going to happen over the next few days here. Are those autofibs? No, autofibs, I don't use autofibs. I just use right here, trend base fib extension, like low, high, low, and it draws them right there. I think there is a section here called auto fibs. Oh, I didn't spell auto correctly. Oh, it was there for a second. Yeah. Oh, there's one right here. Auto fib extensions by stock site. Auto fib channel by stock site. So if I added those on here, you can see it adds on some fibs right here. I'm not entirely sure how the heck this works, to be honest. Yeah, I have no idea how this works. I'd have to learn how to use it. I know there are some tools there, but typically, the low, high, low system usually works pretty well for me. It may be not the perfectly accurate, because every chart is a little bit different, but low, usually does good enough, like a little resistance right there, some resistance right there, not perfect, but okay. What are my thoughts on Fetch ahead of that merger? I'm just dollar cost averaging a lot of them. So right now, honestly, I'd probably just want to hold Ajax because that seems to be the one that's going to get transferred 1-to-1. But for Fetch and Ocean, I'm just kind of on standby with them. Maybe I've been buying a little bit more, but it's been kind of just interesting because I know the exchanges are going to have to swap them out for me pretty soon. I want to own more of them, but at the end of the day, like they're just all going to turn into one token. So I'm pretty much waiting for that moment, and then I'm just going to buy a lot of that token and kind of wait and see what happens with it. I'm in no hurry to buy even more of it. I have some positions open with leverage. Those are the ones I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. I think the exchange is just going to close them down for me, and it'll give me back my money, and then I'll kind of just wait to see what happens next with them. But definitely just, I'd rather be holding them than not holding them at this point. And hey, life, I don't know. You're the second person to tell me about this thing. I haven't really seen much about it. Let me go over here very fast. Let me search for the news. Is it trending on Twitter? Met Gala. Macklemore. Thai France. Hades 2. Rafa. Joe Biden in November. Here you go. Various reports from Arab media outlets suggest that there has been an assassination attempt on Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Okay. So the rumor about an alleged assassination attempt on Prince Mohammed bin Salman has already been debunked by an accredited disinformation fact checker. Breaking fake news debunked. There was no assassination attempt on Saudi Prince Salman. So it looks like it's debunked at this point in time. But what's the most pro-Israel? What do you call it? Middle Eastern ally. It's probably like Al Jazeera. If there was something, I mean, they'd be the one to cover it. Rafah's getting bombed. Hamas getting bombed. Palestinian struggle. I see nothing about the Middle East stuff, or I'm talking about the Saudi. If that would happen, it would be plastered up. It'd be plastered on there. Trust me. Hey Nicholas, I thought Fetch. Only one of them is 1-to-1 ratio, I believe. The other ones have a different ratio along with them. If you go over to the Ajax website, they have a whole thing breaking down the different SKUs they have, or the different ratios they have. And then Vegas, then there's gonna be a black. Oh, you okay? Then there's gonna be a Black Swan event with wars and Trump drama that's gonna rock the markets, and I'll buy. Like I said, it'll be an interesting time out here in the marketplace. I'm just gonna dollar cost average, and we've been having so much volatility here, guys. It's been absolutely insane. This is not your typical bull market. They're not making it nearly as easy as it used to be. Like here, hold on. Loki, where's Loki at? Good boy. All right. This has not been a pleasant few years, right? I don't think any of us thought coming out of COVID we were going to have like Ukraine and Russia going at it. We didn't think last year the terrorists were going to have enough arms to go and invade Israel and like kidnap a bunch of people. The world kind of is a lot less safe than it was, like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And it's just kind of what we're dealing with at this point in time. It's caused a lot more volatility in the markets, plus inflation, all that type of good stuff, I don't know. We'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, definitely the market can definitely go all over the place here. For me, I think the general direction is still going to be up. So that's why I keep on dollar cost averaging. But it has not been an easy journey. Let's call it that, an easy journey here. Oh, Steve says it's 1-to-1. So yeah, it must be 1-to-1 then. A health certificate is required. Oh yeah, he'll be fine. Health certificate, chip, all of his all the proper shots and everything like that. Yeah, he'd have no problem getting all those. I have a great vet, or Loki has a fantastic vet. Guy is top tier. I love the guy. He's really nice. Loki's not good with vets usually. He's like scared of them. So because they give him shots and whatnot. So typically, he'll hit like Loki will jump into my lap. But I'd rather him jump into my lap than try to like kill the vet. Right? He does not like vets at all. But while we're there, he behaves as best as he can, which is very, very nice. But I don't have a problem with getting him all the health stuff. Like heck, just to even put Loki in like a kennel or something like that in Washington State, I think you have to have a bunch of shots in there too. I think he's eligible to go in there, but I just haven't wanted to put him. I haven't wanted to put him in there before. I think this time around, I will probably put Loki in a kennel if I go to Austin at the end of this month, which I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do it, or if I go to no, if when I go to Bitcoin Nashville up in July, I might put him in kennels for both those times, so you can have like people watching over him all the time. Remember, I left him with friends of the family last time, and I don't know. I don't like him getting into fights, and even if he wins the fights, I still don't like him being fights. You know what I mean? Looking for president, yeah, friggin' he might enjoy the job and a little bit of bones and whatnot. What is the background screensaver and your guess on the PCI? The background screensaver, so that's just a wildlife video that's on YouTube. It's not a screensaver like that. That's just like literally like African animals or something going at it. The one right here is a Mid-Journey samurai post that I made. This one's just, I don't know. I like it. It's chill. I have a few of these things. Like my Mid-Journey thing is, I went through a whole samurai phase on. Well, I won't pull it up, but I went through a whole samurai phase with it where I was having a lot of nature and landscape stuff, and I have it on certain parts of my computers and TV sometimes. Let me make sure that's still working okay. There we are, okay. And hey, Gambit, whatever one would work. Whatever one would work. Basically, whatever my vet says, plus I have to contact the people that deal with this stuff in the foreign country. I'd have to ask them what is approved, what is not approved, and I would have to go by their standards, and then let my vet know that my vet would just do all that type of work. But I'd basically have to like double check and triple check all the information. Find a good neighborhood kid to house sit. I don't trust random people with Loki usually. I'm very, very picky when it comes to that type of stuff. The only kennel that I know I would trust Loki at is the one where the person that raised Loki, with the puppy, the people that own Loki's parents, that's where they send their dogs when they go out of town, and they have like 8-10 dogs, so I trust them with that. And your guess on the PCI, you know, honestly, I have no idea. I think I just have a bias of really wanting to see it come down. So I'm very hopeful that CPI data will be less than expected, cooler than expected, and that'll give Bitcoin a big boost to the upside. What I'm going to be doing Monday night, basically, and Sunday night of next week, is I'm going to be putting a couple longs in play, and I'm just going to have them have some pretty decent stop losses around 4 to 5%, and then I'm just going to let them sit with maybe 5x leverages, and then just see where they go. Maybe $500 for each trade, and I'm just going to patiently wait to see what that next move is. But I really have no idea how bad or good CPI data is going to be. We've been kind of sideways and up for the last few months. I'm hoping because oil prices have kind of went sideways, at least, as far as energy prices are concerned. All right, so this was there you go, April. Kind of more sideways here. I know we're a little bit upside, a little bit of downside here. Maybe that'll help out a little bit. I really don't want to see this go down, because if we have a bad April, I'm positive we're going to have a very good May, because oil prices are coming back down. So, but at this point, I'm still kind of more bullish on it. Maybe I shouldn't be as bullish, but I am still bullish on the way the market will go next week. See, can do Inu. I don't even know what that is, but I can check it out for you very fast. Oh, it's not on. Okay, it's not on TradingView here, so you're probably just gonna have to look it on here. No, it's all wrapped Ethereum, so it's not gonna really look like anything, unfortunately. Usually with those smaller market cap ones, it's best if you just kind of hold on to it and see where it goes. If it goes up so high that you're like, oh man, this is a lot of money, you can start scaling out. But usually, if it has such a small market cap like that, you're typically just going to be, waiting for it to make a huge move, which could last, like a month or two or something like that. How old is Loki? Yeah, Loki will have kids in the future, probably another country or something like that. I want to get him another German Shepherd. After I move, because I want to deal with moving 2 German Shepherds. One is hard enough for me at this point in time. I'd probably say, yeah, he'll have a family eventually. But Loki's almost 3 years old. He'll turn 3 in July, basically. So it's he's getting up there in age. Not like old, but he's grown into his young adult type of thing. But he's more mature. He's less. Well, no, he's still a pure freaking puppy. But he is growing up slowly, I guess you would say, right? But anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it a night right now. I'm pretty darn tired, and I'm gonna get some sleep here because I did not get any sleep last night. You guys can tell from how weird I'm talking today. You bought Floki Inu. What do you think? What do you call it? I'm long it myself. I'm basically just holding it for maybe about a couple more months and seeing where it goes from here. But I'm pretty happy with the way the meme tokens have been going and the AI tokens have been going. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it a night here. I'm gonna go to sleep. Basically, I'm just exhausted, and I feel myself losing steam. And I want to be able to stream tomorrow because I know tomorrow is probably going to be a really good day for us. And I want to see if we're going to have the boom to break out above the 50-day moving average. That's really the goal, guys. If you guys are buying right now, it's because you think we're going to break above that and have a pretty seismic move back above like $67,000 to $68,000. That's the big move you're expecting by the end of this week, okay? If you guys are more bearish and you guys are just waiting to buy a little bit more later on this week, by all means, do that. Just make sure you guys don't try to FOMO in. If we do make a big move, that FOMO can definitely lead to a loss of money. So just make sure you guys are careful if we do have a large move and you guys feel like you got a FOMO. Day trading is going to be your friend right now, not swing trading, okay? So see you guys a little bit later on tomorrow, and have a good rest of your day. I'll be putting out a video first thing tomorrow morning as well, giving you guys my thoughts. So keep an eye out for that, and then make sure to watch it. That way YouTube lets me know that people are actually interested in the content. Thanks.